Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Hypersonic 55 and welcome to a new film review. And today's film review will be on the 6th installment in the Fast and the Furious series, Fast and Furious 6, aka Fast 6. Now honestly, I didn't think this series would last this long. After Fast and Furious 4, I thought, okay, that is it, it's done. But obviously Fast 5 came out was it last year? Yeah, and it just reinvented the series. It added a little bit more of a heist element to it, and it literally just brought the series back to life. So I'm like, yo, give me another one, gimme. So here we are with Fast 6 in 2013, and it looked pretty cool from the trailers, and I'm like, yeah, I'm all for it. So I went to see it today, and was it worth the wait? Well, I'm going to tell you in this review. So for those who are not in the story, here is a quick synopsis. Basically, this film takes place after the events of The Lost One and involves Dominic Toretto, along with the rest of his crew, living their lavish lifestyles thanks to the bank heist they pulled off in Fast 5, in retirement, all happy and go lucky. But then DSS agent Luke Hobbs comes back and fires Dom and asks him to gather up his crew again because he needs them to go back and take out a skilled mercenary by the name of Owen Shaw. And add to that, he is in second command with Letty Ortiz, Dom's supposedly dead girlfriend, who's actually still alive. So like, Dom gathers his crew together and joins Luke on this epic journey to go about and take this guy out. And that's basically the story synopsis without going to the area of spoilers. Now, as we do on these film reviews, we basically talk about the good and the bad. So let's start with the good. Firstly, let's talk about the story. The story is pretty good for what it is. I know in like the Fast and Furious films, the story is not really the main element that people will be paying attention to. We're not looking for a dramatically overly great thing. But for what it was pretty cool. It seems to follow and retain the sort of partial thriller-esque elements in the last film, but it also includes most of his main action-based stuff. It was interesting to see how Letty came back, and it was also interesting to see how the filmmakers actually tied together a few ties to some of the previous Fast and Furious films as well, so that was some nice stuff. So when it comes to the characters, they were all pretty cool. Vin Diesel, as always, he's always pretty cool in most films, and he's just cool in this one. He's always like talking in that beastly voice of his, and he's so badass. He gets thrown down a few times, and he also has like a lot of cool, like, you know, bits of dialogue here and there. And when he's driving, he's always just in his element. So yeah, I have no complaints about him. Paul Walker, he was pretty cool. Ludacris and Tyrese were pretty cool in the movie, just like they were in the previous film, and they happen to work well together. They have some pretty funny dialogue, especially Tyrese. He is there for comic relief for the most part, but he's great. He has some really funny dialogue. It was also great to see Jordana Brewster and Michelle Rodriguez return to the series. They had relevance to the plot, and even though Jordana Brewster wasn't in there as much as I thought she'd be, it was good to see her back. Also, Sung Kang has some pretty good stuff as well. And that lass he was with, whose name I can't remember at the moment, I apologise. But yeah, she was pretty cool in the movie and all. Also, it was great to see The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, just doing his thing, being all badass, and he's so ripped, it's ridiculous. His muscles are beastly. I want to know how that guy does that. He just looks amazing. But anyway, back to the film, he was cool, he was awesome. Also, the guy that played Owen Shaw, like I think it's Luke Evans, he was pretty cool. He was a pretty good bad guy. He was very calculated. It was always a few steps ahead of the guys, and he was just really cool. I liked him in the role. And Gina Carano, Jesus Christ, I don't know how I haven't seen this before, but she was right cool in the movie, and she's hot. That's all I have to say. I mean, when she is throwing down, you can definitely see her martial arts background being implemented into this film, and she had so many kick-ass fight scenes. She was great, and when she was beating people up, she just looked so fit. It was insane. She was great. She was hot. I've never seen someone beat someone up and it be actually really, you know, hot. But yeah, Gina Carano, she's just yo. And speaking of fights, let's move into the presentation. Basically, the action in this film is as you'd expect in the Fast and Furious series. Over the top, loud, proud, and just bang, ridiculous. There's like chase sequences, there are the old school driving scenes, you got like, you know, tanks, and you got planes now. It's over the top and ridiculous, but it's friggin' mint as hell. And there's also some cool ass fight scenes. There was this one guy who's this karate guy that is like, you know, taking on a few people at certain points. He's crazy, but he's so skilled. He goes about and takes out so many people, and he does it in such a mental crazy way, but it's really cool. So yeah, the fight scenes are well choreographed. There's some really heavy hitting stuff, but it's really nice. Also, one last thing to mention about the action is the way in which the car scenes and, like, you know, most of the stuff that's shot on the roads is just really well shot. There's some nice low angles, there's some nice high angles, there's a lot of rotating camera shots, and a lot of it reminds me of the Need for Speed series, especially Need for Speed Underground and Need for Speed Carbon, especially on, like, you know, dirt roads and stuff. And as for the bad points, basically, you know, it kind of comes to the story and dialogue, really. There's certain points in the film where you're meant to feel emotion for certain things that are happening, but you can't really feel it that much because of, like, the way in which the dialogue's written. And, you know, was it with this series, I've never really felt the need to be overly dramatic, so, you know, there's one of those sort of things. Also, some of the characters don't get all that much screen time, especially Gina Carano. She gets enough screen time, but I wish she had more. That's my only complaint about that, really. But otherwise, yeah, the rest of the film is fad. So to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, Fast 6 is another great continuation in the series. Whether I like it more than Fast 5 remains to be seen, but I would say go out and watch it. It's one of those sort of films that you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit, and you can't take it too seriously, but if you're willing to let go, have a little bit of fun in the cinema, like, you know, Fast 5 is a good action film which is just good, and I really want to see, like, what goes down in Fast and Furious 7. Also, stay for the post-credit scene. It's one of the coolest post-credit scenes I've seen since Iron Man #1. It is that cool. And yeah, that's it. So what do you think of Fast 6? Drop me a comment in the section below and tell me what you thought. As for a rating, I don't know, I'll probably give it 8 out of 10 really. Yeah, that's about right. So yeah, whatever you thought of the movie, drop it below. Until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. I'll see you later.